So it's another day on PRA. Did manage to get all like the diff, cross brace and trailing arms and everything out, which is awesome. Probably the reason why it's knocking, I'll show you now. I've already pressed the bushes out, but like that's what's left of one of the bush ends. So yeah. But leaving the best bit for last, like this is just mint. Best thing you've ever seen in your life. So if you know GC8 or Subarus in general, you know these are your rear trailing arms, right? These bits here. Get some light, 2 seconds. So got some light. So these are your rear trailing arms. Can you see where the mounts are? Like all of these are supposed to be really tight, secure, and capped nuts. And as you can see, it's really crusty. But the best bit is tight. Let's see if I can get some more light. But like that, it's supposed to be nice and tight. There's a captive nut in there. Perfect. And then if you look on what would be the driver's side, it gets even better. Like so one, that one's okay. That one's not though. Then this one. Oh, mint. And the best bit about it is, that's the bolt hole where the cross brace goes in. Can you see what's missing? Go back to the other side. So, let's just have a quick peek inside on what I had to do to get that one out. Oh, look at that beautiful hole. Oh, more welding. First of all, get the fuel tank out, fuel lines, everything disconnected on the bottom, and then go from there and patch that little hole up. I'm just going to weld that because you're never going to see it underneath the seat. But underneath the car, where those rear trailing arms are, I'm going to take those lateral arms off, get them powder coated like them, polybushed, get all the bushes pressed out, and then I'm sending it somewhere else so it looks OEM, because that's a structural component, so it's obviously stressed, and I don't want to run the risk of that. And I want the, I'll go get the bolt and I'll just show you. So that's what sits inside that nut, and as you can see, it's only tacked in 3 places. I tried putting heat on it when it was in the car, everything, just didn't want to budge, so cut it off, cut that hole, pulled it out. I'm going to have to patch that up and then get that section cut out, and I'm having all of these replaced, and I'm going to have them welded all the way around with a plate in, and it's going to be thicker than this factory one, because the factory one's like stupidly thin anyway. So I'm going to try and get that done as soon as I can to get this rolling, and then I can get it to the place that can do that work. As I said, I'm going to patch that little bit up on the inside, but for now, just getting the bushes out of these, the rest of them. These came out really easily. They came out really easily because that was these ones, and that one wasn't that great. I did heat it up, but that one literally just fell out. So, and they're really soft. So, and then get this blasted, done black. Get this blasted black. I'm getting these done in pink like they're supposed to be, because I do have STI arms. So I'm not sure if I want to fit the STI arms in, because either way I'm polybushing it, so I don't really want to waste an STI arm. And then get that rear lateral arm out, polybush it, powder coat it. Right, so we're pulling it out. That's what it looks like, and then because it's been drilled, you can push it out. There is some left behind, and you just pull the rest of it out, get your wire brush, clean up in there, put your new ones in. This is going to go get powder coated, so I'm not doing that because it's going to go get shot blasted, but that's what you're left with. The rest of my stuff's already in the daily. Get that other rear arm off, that one, pull the bush out of that, and then everything's off to the powder coaters, and we can get cracking on with removing the fuel tank on the next episode. Okay guys, peace. Just to prove how far I'm taking this, I've even sanded my drive shaft back to bare metal, be getting primed and then painted so it's not going to rust again. So mask it off, put it on some cardboard, professional paint job. Professional spray booth. Check. Tip if your paint's been sat for, that's what I'm using. If your paint's been sat for ages, warm it up. Chased up and down. Leave that dry, come back, blast some black on it, and we'll drop some bits off to go get powder coated. Done. So that's the end of this video. That is part 1 from that, episode 1, ripping the rear end apart on the GC8. Next bit will be pulling the fuel tank and getting everything back from the powder coaters. They are there now, I'm just waiting for them to come back. I did decide to keep everything pink. I'm still looking for someone to do the welding underneath and the plates. We are currently in 2021, so Happy New Year everyone. It's like, I think it's the 3rd of January, so we'll see how everything goes, but getting the bits I need, like the fuel tank straps, I know I need to replace because I have already dropped the fuel tank and they're not in great enough condition to blast, and then recoat, so I need new ones. I want new hardware for the fuel tank straps because they're not very good. I do have new OEM brake lines to replace the rear lines, which is the entire reason of dropping it. But I do also have to fix a line that's there, the one that runs through the entire side of the car, because that's the bit that was actually slowly weeping. I think it's a tiny little pinhole in, there's a little coupler and it's just before that, that's leaking. The rest of it wasn't actually leaking, the parts that I thought was, typical, but they were beyond shot. Like just trying to get them off the clips, they were bending and snapping, so it's worth it for how cheap they are. And then it's a case of the fuel tank's out, wait for everything to come back from the powder coaters, press all the bushes in. But before I do that, I'm going to strip the entire underside, etch prime it, well, zinc coat it and then etch prime it, just so everything's protected before I make it into a roller and send it off for welding. Because there's no point painting it and restoring it how I want if I've got to have welding done. I have the plate to make that little recess on the inside, but I haven't decided how I want to do it yet. I don't know if I want to make it an internal stud or go back to OE hardware with its OEM bolt. So do everything else on the car as OEM, so I might just go for the nut welded in on basically a large washer, and then weld that into where it would mount into the floor. If I can get a welder in, it all depends on stuff like that, so I don't know if I'm going to have to patch that panel up irregardless and then cut into the floor. It's something I'll have to look into and decide and seek some advice, because I haven't done chassis welding and stuff like that before. I've only welded exhausts and pipes and stuff like that. But that's the end of episode 1. Episode 2 will be up as soon as I can make it. As soon as I can finish editing it, it's already videoed, but dropping the fuel tank and sending everything off the powder coaters. I do pick the powder coat bits up on Friday, which would be a couple of days away. So yeah, that's everything done. You'll see the condition of what I chose, and I didn't go for the classic STI cherry blossom pink. I went for the later spec telemagenta because it's brighter and, well, makes it stand out a bit more. But peace out, guys, keep safe, and I'll get the episode 2 uploaded as fast as I can.